At Lidl, we use competency-based interviews to assess candidates. The big questions are, what are competency-based interviews and how to ace them? Let's listen to Lidl recruitment consultants breaking it down for us.
A competency-based interview is designed to test one or multiple skills or competencies that have been identified as essential for a position. Candidates will need to provide real-life examples as the basis of their answers. There are basically 3 types of questions we will ask during these types of interviews: structured, behavioural and situational. The questions are structured because they follow a predetermined order. Basically, all candidates are asked the same questions in the exact same order. As a result, we're able to ensure candidates are interviewed fairly and with the most suitable candidates being selected for the role. Behavioural questions focus on your responses to challenges you've faced in previous roles. For example, what did you do? What did you think? Situational questions are scenarios you would face in your new role. For example, what would you do if you were a deputy store manager and this happened on your shift?
This may sound obvious, but take your time to carefully analyse the job description. Think hard if your experience really aligns with the requirements of the role. If not, well, maybe there's a more suitable position in our other teams or departments. Next, if you're confident you're a good match, consider why you're interested in applying for this position. What is it that attracts you to us? We are always on the lookout for someone who is passionate about our business and values. So do your homework. Research Lidl. Review our company website, our social media channels, including LinkedIn. Read Glassdoor and Google reviews. Read through any recent news articles or interviews with our existing colleagues. Have a look at our corporate social responsibility and charity initiatives. This knowledge will only support your application. Also, your research will help you prepare questions for the interview. This is very important. Asking those questions will show your genuine interest in the role, and also, only you know what is important to you when you consider joining a new organisation. Finally, go through your past experiences and skill set. Think how you could frame those as being relevant for the new role and have some examples ready.
Most interviews begin with an introduction, which is the part before we start asking our questions. This is your opportunity to make a great first impression and demonstrate the results of any research that you've conducted. You'll basically talk us through your education, your experience, and explain what it was about this role and the company that attracted you. We'll also be interested in your key achievements. A good tip is to keep your answers brief but to the point.
There will be quite a few of the behavioural questions for you to answer. Let me start by saying, never be afraid to ask the interviewer to repeat the question or explain it further if you don't fully understand it. You don't want to miss an opportunity to provide the most relevant information, do you? When you get a question, you can use the STAR technique to structure your answer. This is how it works. Describe the situation you were in, describe the task that needed to be done, describe the action you took and what action other people took, and detail the result of the task following your actions. It's essentially a short story like this. I was on an evening shift, end of a busy day. We were about to close the store when the wine shelf broke. Suddenly, we had a pool of wine blocking aisle 1. Everyone was like, "Not now, we want to go home." But I took the lead and said, "Look, we've got this. I'll pick the shards, you grab the mop, you get the cleaning machine ready." So I organised the team and we had it all cleaned up in 10 minutes. We left the store maybe 5 minutes later than usual. Points for leadership earned.
For many reasons, we're doing more and more video interviews. The problem is, obviously, technical glitches. They happen, so make sure you've got all of the correct logins and you test the link to the interview platform as soon as you receive it. Check that you know who's making the call and sign in a bit earlier to make sure everything works. Technicalities aside, there are a few general recommendations that are worth mentioning. Firstly, set the scene. Get the right lighting and clean up the surroundings. Get rid of any background noise. During the interview, be mindful of your body language and non-verbal communication. An online interview is still very much an interview, so make sure that you come across professionally. Remember to make lots of eye contact and smile at the interviewers. Also, if you're not sure that all this works for you, you can always set up a test interview with a friend before the actual interview and ask them for feedback.
Play it cool, but be yourself.
Be yourself, definitely.
Follow these simple guidelines during interviews with our recruitment and hiring teams. You can find the current vacancies at www.lidlcareers.co.uk.